Hi everyone! Thank you so much for coming to see our video today. I just want to let you know that over here we're going to be showing you guys some things that we have in our pantry right now. And I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how we have been doing our shopping and why. So we have been trying to shop for about a month or 2 months when possible. And honestly, sometimes the items last a little bit longer, especially if we buy canned goods or if we try to stock up for emergencies, then yeah, we'll sometimes have for more food for more time. But basically, we are trying to buy in bulk and we are trying to buy a little bit more food or more items for the house for groceries so that we don't have to be constantly going out of the house because we don't have a car, which means we have to pay more for transportation, which means more money and more time wasted and also more exposure because of the COVID situation. So we have seen that it works out better for us to just buy in bulk. Sometimes we do get better prices. We feel that the food lasts us way longer. We feel that it does come out cheaper because, of course, I do the math. And nothing. That's basically the point. So we try to buy in big when possible. And then what we do buy weekly or about every 2 to 3 weeks is the fresh produce because that is what gets bad faster. So we try to buy fresh fruits and vegetables when possible, when we need them for recipes, when we want to have them in the house, because we don't just want to buy a lot of produce and then let it go bad. That's never our intention or our goal. Now, because of the COVID situation, there has actually been people coming to drop food off at our house, which has made things much easier. So there's a guy that comes to bring us fruits and vegetables, passes us a list of the prices and the items and how much he can bring us. And we tell him what we want, and then he'll come by one day to drop it off and give it to us. We also have a guy that brings us eggs, and we do the same thing. Whenever we need eggs, we send him a message, and he comes on his days that he delivers. And we also have a lady bringing us cheese. Same thing, we send her a message, and then the day that she has the cheese and she's available to come, she brings it to our house, so it's included already in the price of the item, which is really good and super comfortable for us. So let me show you what we have in our pantry right now. Let's get into the video. A friend of mine, she's Indian from Florida, she gave me this, and I know these things last a long time, but I still want to use it. It's a red curry spicy paste, but I need to use it. Yummy. I have to plan some meals for that. I have some chili chipotle peppers that I also brought from Florida, and I have them here as well. I have to check expiration dates and all of that. They're good up till 2022, so that's really good. So I'm not in a rush to use these because I can't really, they're more expensive here in Costa Rica, so I'm not in a rush to use them because then if I don't go to Florida, I'm left without them. We got some of this fruit cocktail for COVID in case we weren't able to get fresh fruits. We wanted to have some fruits at hand as well as pineapple chunks, but thankfully we've had people bringing us fresh fruits and vegetables, so we haven't needed to use these. So we're gonna keep them there as emergency pantry items. And then we also have some garbanzos and some peas over here, and then we have stewed tomatoes and corn. So that's what we have over here. We already saw this. I'm going to move this up. Over here we have a big pasta that I actually got at Micah. It's a big amount of pasta because it's just cheaper, and of course we're not going to use all of this unless I really cook for a party or a big amount of people, but what I do is I just save it and I put it in the fridge and then it lasts longer. And then a huge bag of sugar, we go emptying it as we need. I have this pineapple preserves that I actually brought as well from Florida because my mom used to make a really nice delicious dip with pineapples and I believe the spam, so that's actually why I brought it from Florida, and I just haven't had the time to do it, but it's a delicious dip, so I'm excited about that. Have another potted meat. We have some mayo. I always have backup mayo because we use it here for a lot of recipes. We use it for coleslaw, we use it for sandwiches, we use it to make arepas. We do reina pepiada, which is avocado with mayo and other stuff. So we always have backup mayo. It's always a necessity here in our house. I always have this arepa masa, which is like flour to make arepas, like Venezuelan or Colombian arepas. I always have this because I really love to make arepas from time to time, and they're just a good pantry staple as well. I also have this baking unsweetened cacao powder, which I brought from Florida, and it's good to make brownies or anything chocolatey. So we have that over there, and that's basically what we have in these two sections. Then if we open up this area, I don't have anything there. That's just a container to hold seasonings. Over here we have extra pastas. We have like spaghetti and fettuccine, and then we have refried beans. I always buy about 3 or 4 refried beans because they're a great pantry staple. But you know, after so much time already, I'm telling you, I think it's been more than 2 months. We only have 1 refried bean left, so that shows you that we have used a lot. And then we have 1 oatmeal bag, which we usually have about 1 to 2. So yeah, and then over here we have some other pantry staples that are good to have for emergencies. So we have pancake and waffle mix. This one is open, I've been using it. And then we have some export sodas over there, which I use as well. My husband doesn't really like them, but I do. And then we had bought all of these different pastas simply because, you know, for emergency reasons, when we don't have time to cook, it's good to just come here and get this and not have to worry about what to make. So we have different kinds. We have macaroni and cheese, albahaca, which is like with tomato and basil. We have with mushroom. We have macaroni and cheese and some other kinds, and then I have a backup pancake and waffle mix over there because I have this one that I am using, and then I have the backup one. Over here I have coconut milk that I haven't used yet, but I do want to use it soon for a recipe. So we have coconut milk. We have French dressing, which I bought just to have an extra because we do have dressing right now in the fridge. But I think I got this, yeah, I brought this from Florida. So they last a long time. Anyways, I brought it from Florida. So I haven't bought dressing here in Costa Rica. These all come from Florida. Over here is the expiration date. Then over here, this is my stockpile a little bit. So as you see, I have various bags of this arepa, but I had more. I had like 5 or 6, and I only have 3 now. And then this little one that is open because I had another one that was open and I finished using it yesterday. I made arepas. So I have 3 more left. And the reason why I stockpiled on them, because I found them on special in Walmart a little bit cheaper. So I decided to buy a few. And they're great because they last a long time. And then we have 2 bags of flour because I like to bake and all that kind of stuff. So I had bought 3, and actually I think I bought 4, and I've used 1, and then the other bag is almost done, and then I have those 2 extras. Because we don't have a car, we pay Ubers, and that's why I prefer to just buy some extra things like that, like the flour, to just have at hand. And you know, sometimes I bake more than other days, and then other times I just don't have time for it. So that's what really depends. It depends on my time, because if I have time, I would use up all of those flours. Anyways, that's my pantry item right now. That's what I have. Okay, so we're starting with the shrimp. This recipe that I'm doing, this pantry recipe, I found it on YouTube, and I'm just going to use the things that I have. You know, I had this shrimp and I wanted to make something new with it because I already had made like shrimp fettuccine, Alfredo type of thing. So I just Googled shrimp recipes, and then I found this one with coconut cream, and I said, you know what, I want to try that out. So that's how this came about. I went to my pantry and I found that I had coconut cream, so I was like, okay, let's do it. So we're just going to leave this here for a few minutes, and I'm going to be watching it and turning it over, and then I'm going to go show you what else the recipe needs that we already had at hand, thankfully. So let's go check it out. And then for the recipe, they also needed some red pepper, and we had some at hand. And then we also needed an onion, and we needed garlic. We needed a little bit of lemon, just a little bit. So we have that, and then we needed cream of coconut, and I have Coco Lopez, which is delicious. If you haven't tried it, you need to try it. And then they asked for some jalapenos. We don't have any fresh ones, but we have these in the can, so I'm just gonna add some of these to the recipe. And then we also needed parsley. We don't have any, but I think we have cilantro. And if we don't have cilantro, we have culantro outside, and I could throw some of that in just to give a fresh touch. Okay, so the shrimps are starting to get that pink color that we want, which is really good. So I'm just gonna continue moving them around, make sure they all get cooked. We're gonna start with the seasonings. The YouTube video asked for paprika. I don't have any. I need to buy some, so I'm just gonna add some cayenne pepper to give it some color. And then, I'll just go seeing it. And then we're also gonna add some salt and pepper because the pepper that I have to grind it up. I'm just gonna do that outside of the camera. So I'm gonna go put some pepper on and then mix this up. All right. But if you have paprika, you can use paprika. I don't have paprika, so I just put a little bit of cayenne pepper. Anyways, I like to give it a spicy touch, and we're gonna put jalapenos too, so it's gonna be nice and yummy. So I have just removed the shrimp from the pan, and we're just leaving here any little bit of oil that you have left. If you don't have that much oil left, you can add a little bit of butter. But I did have, so I'm going to leave it there. And I just put the shrimp aside now. And what I'm going to put here is onions. So I'm going to bring the onions over to add it and mix it in with the flavor. So we're going to stir in the onions, and we're going to allow them to soak up all of that flavor and get a little bit translucent. Shouldn't take long, just a little bit, but it has all that flavor already, the salt, the pepper, and that little shrimp juice, so that's really good. So after the onion is ready, then I added the red pepper, I added some jalapenos, and now we're adding the garlic, and we're just gonna let that all soak in the flavor. We're just gonna mix this all up for a little bit, and then we'll continue on. So when I opened the cream of cocoa, I wasn't sure if it was the right thing that she used in her recipe, because this one is much sweeter. We use it a lot for desserts. So anyways, I just put a little bit of this, and then I had some coconut milk in my pantry, so I added some of this as well. And I think it looks pretty good. This, I know, is going to give a lot of sweetness, so it's going to be delicious. And then here we have coconut milk. So let's go see it in the pan. My husband is adding some pepper. This is how it looks. I already tasted the sauce, and it tastes amazing. So it's okay. I'm adding my own touch, and I'm just using what I have at home. So that's fine. And now we're just gonna scratch the borders because they start to get cooked up, right? And we're gonna add the shrimp back here so it gets some flavor. If you have some coconut flakes, you can also add them here to the recipe. So I wanted to add some fresh cocoa, and I have this here in the house, dehydrated. It's not fresh, it's dehydrated, but some cocoa flakes. So I'm gonna add this to the pan right now. So we just tried it, and it tastes amazing. It does have a hint of spiciness. My husband is now adding some cocoa flakes, so we can also add them to the topping of the plate. And then here you can add parsley or cilantro. I'm gonna check if I have some. We're not gonna eat this now. I'm making it in the morning. We're gonna actually eat this for lunch with some white rice. So I'm not gonna add it yet. If I find some cilantro, then I'll add it later. But the plate is done, and it tastes delicious. Sweet and spicy. And it's good. Okay guys, and this is all for today. This is our recipe. Remember, I was copying a recipe that I found here on YouTube. I was copying a recipe from the Bahamas from a lady that posted a video on YouTube, and I was trying to make this recipe with things that I already had here at the house. So I was using the shrimp that were in the freezer, and I was using some pantry items, and this meal came out absolutely delicious. I really loved it, and I wish I would have made this before. But we're learning, and this is definitely going to be on my list to make again in some near future because it was just delicious. I think it just had the perfect touch of coconut and spiciness that I personally love. For my husband, it was a little bit too on the spicy side, but for me it was perfect. I mean, I loved it. This plate also lasted us for 2 days, so that was really, really good. And I really looked forward to eating it again. So I will be making this again. I do recommend you guys to try it out because it was delicious. And yeah, this is my plate. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I recommend you guys to try this recipe out. It was the bomb.